All right, what is going on, you guys? Emergency press conference in the house right here. This is a Down to the Wire Fumblerooski Podcast and Pesky Pole Podcast special. I'm Brian Kostiw.
I'm Tyler Tucker.
I'm Adam Wright.
I'm CJ Medieros.
I am Robert Shelley.
All right, guys, we got a packed house in here for you guys. And obviously the giant elephant in the room just broke basically a couple minutes ago. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, just announced his retirement today. There were some rumblings yesterday that this was going to be coming out, and we wanted to get an episode out to you guys as soon as possible. So obviously it's kind of all hands on deck right now. Adam, I'll pass it off to you. You kind of have some kind of talking points that we can get into. What are your initial thoughts so far, man?
All right. So yeah, Tom Brady has officially retired from the NFL. It's a sad day for Patriots fans and Buccaneers fans alike. And we welcome you to this special episode in a collaboration of the Fumblerooski Podcast with Down to the Wire and Pesky Pole Podcast. I'm Adam Wright in a crowded room of Brian Kostiw, Robert Shelley, CJ Medeiros, Tyler Tucker. But I do have a few things I wanted to jot down because I just wanted a little bit of some order in this emergency show, if you will. But what's everybody's initial thoughts? I just want to get everyone's thoughts on what is going on here, just in the direct aftermath.
All right. Well, Adam, you started it up. I pass it off to you. So you just go and give yours.
All right. So you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
So part of me is still in denial that this happened. And I'm thinking if it's not, I want to hear it from him, specifically.
Yeah.
I know it was from Adam Schefter, and he's like the Adrian Wojnarowski of the NFL. If it ain't Woj, then and if it's Schefter, but I don't know. And part of me also wonders if he's going to stay in retirement. If he might, there was a quote from Tom Brady earlier on in the season where he was in an interview and he was saying how winning for him feels more like it feels more like something where he's satisfied if he won. I forgot the exact quote. But he basically said that he never wants to turn on the TV and watch the new generation play and think, man, I could play better than these guys. And sort of just, he said that would kill him. And I wonder if if in a couple of years he's going to do that and he's going to say, man, I want to come back. And to add on to that, he is under contract for the Buccaneers for a few years, technically. So it is a possibility.
So he is technically under contract. This was obviously crazy breaking news when I saw it. It was there were rumblings starting last night by Jason La Canfora. He's over at CBS Sports HQ. Came on, did a breaking report there, and really there was no other news that I saw really coming out about it. I put out a post about it last night, and I know that you, Adam, you, Rob, commented on it. You said there's no way. I got to wait for the bigger guys to get involved. And obviously Schefter and Darlington just did come out. And that kind of is the official, usually the stamp of approval that this is legitimate. So I'm obviously very saddened by it, but it's crazy news to see how it's all coming about right now. There's still so much to, kind of unpack. From what I'm seeing right now, another big part of this as well is that Tom Brady is going to reportedly try to sign a one-day contract to retire as a Patriot. Apparently, this was something that he always had in his mind when he decided to leave New England. This was always a part of his plan. That's going to be a little bit difficult here because technically he is under contract. Like Adam said, he's under contract for the next couple of years. So if the Bucs were to release him, I think it would be like $30 million on the cap. I don't know if he can just essentially, kind of just by retiring, he can essentially walk out of that contract, but it's going to be interesting. I don't think you can essentially trade him back to New England, but they're probably going to have to do some sort of a workaround so he can, get back and do a formal retirement like that. Obviously there's still a lot more to come in the coming days. And it really just, it's shocking to me. Rob?
Okay, first of all, I just got to say for my Pesky Pole Podcast fans, sorry you haven't heard my voice in a while with the lockout. There has been absolutely zero news, which is killed. But we're going to switch it over to the NFL for a little bit for this emergency podcast that I had to hop in on. Now, first things first, all right, for Buccaneers fans, y'all know that meme where it goes, "Oh no, we suck again." That's welcome back. Welcome back to misery. All right.
Not even misery. Welcome back to reality.
Yes.
Welcome back to reality.
Kyle Trask is your new QB. Chris Godwin's not going to sign back. Mike Evans is going to be traded. Gronk's going to retire. On the defensive side, there's one guy who I'm forgetting is a free agent.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
JPP.
Carlton Davis.
Was it Levante David or?
I know Sue might be too.
Yeah. So
Sue is as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Godwin and Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things still up in the air there. They're not going to be able to do what they did after Super Bowl 55 and get all their starters back, especially with, the most important guy in that field, Brady, being gone. They're not going to be able to get all 22 of those guys back. But Rob, you make a good point with Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski really only came out of retirement because Brady had a new opportunity. I mean, I talked to Pat Edwards, Rob Tyler and Adam, him. I talked with him just earlier this week on this, and he ended up basically saying that, Rob Gronkowski was going to get traded to the Detroit Lions and basically threatened to retire if he did so. And then he after Super Bowl 53, he announced a formal retirement saying, "Oh, it's my health. I got to get out for these reasons." And then as soon as Brady got out of town, he said, "All right, you know what? I'm back." And and Gronk went to the Bucs, I think, for like a 4th round draft pick or so. So he was down there. And from what I can tell, he's basically just going, I think he's pretty much, kind of a made deal with Brady. I think with Brady gone, you have to assume Rob Gronkowski's gone as well. I know he was a free agent after last season, technically. And there were people saying, "Oh, he might go to the Dolphins. He might try to do stuff like that." I don't see that happening. I think Rob Gronkowski is also, he'll probably announce a retirement maybe in the next month or so. But I could see that very well coming out as well. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Man, I'm in shock and awe right now. I mean, I was on FaceTime with a friend of mine, and he said, "Yo, I think Tom Brady's retiring." And I was like, "Yeah, who's your source?" And then he said Adam Schefter, and I was like, "Oh no." But it's a sad day for football fans everywhere. I'm a Vikings fan, but that New England spirit, I've always rooted for Tom Brady. I always loved him. I totally agree with Rob's point. Bucs are gonna suck now. It's just welcome back to the real world. But what an incredible career. What a great story. I think everybody thought the storybook ending was going to happen. The Super Bowl right away in the sunset, go to Disney, shout out some sponsors and be set for the rest of your life. But you didn't really get that, but it was still a great run nonetheless.
Absolutely. I mean, Tyler, I know you are technically a Vikings fan, but I do know from your personal experience, you do have that Brady poster hanging in your room. It's the same one I have hanging in mine. So I know you are a Brady fan at heart, which I do appreciate. It's all great to hear. CJ, you're the last man who hasn't chimed in yet to this point. What are your thoughts, man?
As a Pats fan and a Brady fan, it hurt. I don't know about the rest of you, and maybe I'm showing my age a bit here, but Tom Brady has literally been playing longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
As it sits, I have never known an NFL without Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And it's a reality I'm not too sure that I want to embrace, frankly. Mm-hmm. And I really don't hold any ill will from going to Tampa, or for Gronk for that matter. I'm happy with him. It's the end of an era. Undisputably, he's the GOAT. He is the greatest to ever do it. He's got more rings than any franchise. He's the most passing yards, most passing touchdowns ever. 15-time Pro Bowler, 3-time MVP, 6-time All-Pro, and most career wins. This guy is an absolute legend. And I just can't wait for him to sign that one-day contract and retire. Mm-hmm. And while this may seem like the end of an era, all kumbayas, if you're a Bucs fan, it's over. You're not going to get those good players on cheap deals. They want to play with Brady. You have no appeal now without Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
And your quarterback now, you know who's next on the depth chart? Kyle Trask. Oh boy. And I don't know if you watched Kyle Trask at college, but to this day, until I see otherwise, I remain adamant that he should not have been a second round pick.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, ain't that right, Robert?
Yeah.
And that
Florida fans, stand up.
and I'm happy for Brady, but I don't know. Tampa really has no appeal now. They're not going to be able to afford Chris Godwin. They're probably going to lose Carlton Davis and Jason Pierre-Paul. And Adam knows because, Adam and I have the Fumblerooski Podcast. And I'm going to say to the Bucs fans, when I said to the Packers fans when the Packers lost, you're staring to the abyss right now. Your great one's gone.
Jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jump in. Just jump.
Here's the thing. I definitely think that the Bucs could be on the precipice of the abyss, similar to the Green Bay Packers. I think that they could be in trouble. But with this Brady retirement happening, and I know this is going to be a very Brady centric episode, but CJ, you just made a great point about the Packers staring into the abyss because your guy's going to be gone. With Brady now being gone, does Tampa just say, all right, screw it, we need to go all in, and do you make a trade possibly for Aaron Rodgers?
Can I jump in real quick? In that we're actually transitioning very smoothly into my next talking point that I had, which is what is next for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And could I also follow up with adding in the direct aftermath of this retirement, there have been rumors flowing around, not sure how much credibility they have. And I know, Robert, you do not like this guy, but there is a possibility of the Buccaneers trading for quarterback Carson Wentz. So what do we think about that? And
that's a nightmare. To go from Tom Brady to Carson Wentz. I mean, honestly, at that point, I would just sell the team at that point.
Oh my
Why would you do that? Tom Brady's the poster boy for durability, and now you're going to get the poster boy for glass bones.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
it's almost equivalent to going out and talking to the Bills and saying, "Yo, that's our biscuit guy. I like it.
Pretty good. Yeah, let's go get him."
Why?
That's it. Honestly, that is a terrible idea.
It's better than Carson Wentz. It's better than Kyle Trask.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can find my football somewhere. Maybe I might be better than Kyle Trask at this point.
No, let me just say. Yeah, go Adam. No, go.
And could I add on? I know I'm not a huge fan of Carson Wentz, just as Robert is and everybody else pretty much on this call. But yeah. I mean, he does have a track record of being a decent quarterback, especially with the roster that the Colts had around them. They only had one legitimate pass catcher in Michael Pittman. Now you upgrade from there in Mike Evans as your top guy with Cameron Brate, Scotty Miller, Cyril Grayson, all those players. That's much better pass catching corps than what they had. Much better. Do you think it's a much better defense? It's about the same. I would say.
I'd say it's slightly worse.
But they would still be a playoff team if they brought in Carson Wentz. I do believe that.
Yeah, I think they could be a playoff team. I don't think they're going to be anywhere close. They'll probably be, struggling to make a play in, or, probably they'll be battling down to the final week of the season rather than, winning the division and kind of, coasting in at certain points. I think that's going to probably be more of their situation. Yeah. But I don't know. It would intrigue me to see. I mean, the Buccaneers since 2002, when they went out and won the Super Bowl, we're kind of the laughing stock of the league. I know everyone looks at the Cleveland Browns and everyone looks at the Detroit Lions. The Tampa Bay Bucs are right in that camp. So I think so. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I know that my fan base, and I know this is an extremely short window, and I have to seize every opportunity because we are a smaller market team. I would send the world to Green Bay and get Aaron Rodgers. Because I think he's 38, 39 or something at this point, maybe 37. I don't know. He's in his late 30s. Brady got there when he was 43. Possibly, if you had the possibility to bring in Aaron Rodgers and get him there for maybe 4, 5, 6 seasons even, that's a win. That would be an absolute win, and that would just be the best possible way to extend this thing. Maybe you get him him there for even just 2 or 3 years. I'd still see that as an absolute win, because if it comes down to you having to go with Kyle Trask, which they won't go with Kyle Trask, they'll find somebody else. But if it comes down to you, I even like a Derek Carr or like a Carson Wentz. I don't think that the Bucs can handle that. I think that you have to strike while the iron is hot, and if that kind of leads to you looking a little bit desperate, so be it.
All right, so I got two things to say real quick. All right, first of all, one thing that we're completely overlooking, Matthew Stafford, right? He is jumping for joy right now because not only is he still miraculous in the playoffs, he ended Tom Brady's career with one beautiful throw. Okay, second off, if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, you have
that was the Buccaneers' fault.
It was, but you have two roads that you could go down right now.
Yes.
You can either, and I'm sorry, you're gonna have to put an E on your Spotify links, Adam and Brian. I don't care. You either got to sell the shit. All right, you got to sell everything. All right, you just need to say, "Oh no, we suck again." All right, top 5 pick next year or 2 years from now, whatever you want to call it. Let's just go with it. Or you go all in. You push all the poker chips forward. You go over to Green Bay. You let Chris Godwin walk, and you say, "I will give you a Ricky Williams-esque type trade. I'll give you every pick you've ever wanted for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams."
Well, Devontae's a free agent. Devontae is a free agent.
Sign and trade kind of thing.
Yeah. So you could do that. And honestly, I like, here's the thing. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of tanking. So I could understand it when certain teams, you know, like I look at the Philadelphia 76ers before they started their tank. Like they were, you know, middling around. They were struggling to maybe get to the playoffs at certain times. And they said, you know what, we're just going to blow it up. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a year removed from a Super Bowl and just played and just, you know, had a hell of a comeback against the Los Angeles Rams.
Beautiful.
If I'm them, that I know eventually we are going to have to blow it up and rebuild again. So why not just try to stretch this thing out as long as possible? If it goes down in flames, fine.
Yeah, they still have the roster around them.
The ship was already burning. It's already burning. Might as well try to go out, you know, in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm. All right, Tyler and CJ, what are you thinking? Did they buy? Did they just go all in and try and go Aaron Rodgers? By the way, Aaron Rodgers and maybe even Devontae Adams, come home to Denver. All right, Colorado's where it's at. Okay, but
you're a fake Denver resident. Shut up.
I've been in Denver for 5 months now. Damn it,
I'm
close enough to where it is. But
it's off.
Tyler and CJ, do we buy or do we sell and just jump off this flaming ship?
Tyler, you mind if I go first?
Go for it.
All right. Something I'd like to say. It's not even whether or not they want Rodgers. It's can they get him? The Bucs cap situation is not particularly rosy. And I don't know if you saw the reports, but Devontae Adams at minimum wants $30 million a season. Plain and simple, they can't afford both. And per Tony Pauline, Aaron Rodgers has told people that he wants, you know, Adams with him wherever he plays. They're basically like a package deal. Tampa can't afford that. And, you know, if you're Tampa, you almost have to sell because no matter what, you're going to be stuck paying those phantom years on Brady's contract, just like New England did. And you're probably – and Godwin's going to price himself out. Carlton Davis probably going to price himself out. And your best hope is probably going through the draft. And maybe you extend it, maybe you don't. So the way I look at it is first – I think they're going to have to be sellers. They're probably going to have to tank. I know they don't want to, but I personally don't think they're going to have a choice. But here's the kicker. Now is as good a time as any for Bruce Arians to prove himself. I believe Adam knows where I stand on this, but for those who don't know, I will say it loud and clear. I do not buy the Bruce Arians is an offensive guru and a quarterback whisperer hype. I don't believe it. And here's why. Yep. He has only worked with established quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger, Andrew Luck, Carson Palmer, Tom Brady. And the only reclamation project he had was Jameis Winston, you know, and then Jameis became ESPN and went 30 for 30.
Yeah, and to follow that up.
Wait, hold up, Adam. Can I just say one more thing?
Got you.
So, Bruce, now's your time to live up to the legacy. Prove that it wasn't Brady wearing the pants because, you know, we all know it was, let's be honest. But like I said, I've never bought to Arians being this wonderful quarterback whisperer. Let's see if he really is. If he is, I'll be happy to say I was wrong, but I highly doubt it. Let's see how you face real adversity.
Yeah.
And to follow that up, He's worked with all established quarterbacks, and those are the only quarterbacks who have succeeded under Arians, all quarterbacks who have already succeed before. And
Exactly.
all he did was just open the playbook and say, let him throw, let him fly, let Tom Brady fly after playing dink and dunk for the past 5 years under Bill Belichick. Let Carson Palmer throw it all over the place. Ben Roethlisberger, all players like that. But to follow up on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so like what's next for them? Should they buy or sell? It's not about what they should be doing; it's what they might actually end up doing. Because in the right after the season ended, right after the game, Bruce Arians, when asked about rebuilding, he said more like reloading. So it seems like he wants to do a little bit of a bridge transition and try to not so much tear everything down, but try to maybe in a couple of years build this team up and find the opportunity to get that elite quarterback back, because obviously you lost your guy in Tom Brady. Try to find maybe a free agent in a trade or through the draft, some way, somehow, but retain some sort of a roster, and which will lead to later on in this show where I want to talk about Brady possibly coming out of retirement, because I am still having trouble accepting it, and I maybe I'm just shell shocked, but at the same time, I mean, I can't rule it out. I just can't.
Yeah.
Tyler.
What do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you, CJ, you're totally right. Green Bay is going to want a king's ransom for Adams and Rodgers. I mean, it's going to be impossible to get them. But if I like them there, but as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, that's besides the point. But I think if you're the Bucs, I mean, I'm calling every team in the league, and I'm seeing what I can get and for how much. I mean, let's not forget, there's a guy in Seattle that's looking to get out. I mean,
he's going to Washington, but okay.
Maybe. Derek Carr is another guy. I mean, he could just go in there and be solid. You give him those weapons. Derek Carr really, I mean, you look at it, talk about not great receiving core. I mean, he's got Deshaun Jackson, Hunter Renfrow, solid third down slot guy, but like he's not a big time guy like a Godwin or an Evans. So
don't forget Watson too.
Yeah, Watson, exactly.
God.
That's a risk if they're willing to take it. But yeah. I really think, try as hard as you can to find someone that you could just put in and they will be good enough, and then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be kind of a tried and true process. They're going to have to go through a lot. I think that if I'm Tampa, I'm just striking while the iron is hot, and I'm just trying to see what I can get. I know I threw Derek Carr kind of aside, but I could very well see them trying to actually go after someone like him. I think he's established enough, and being able to work with the certain types of guys that he's worked with. Maybe you can reload the team in the type of way where it doesn't necessarily have to be entirely carried by the quarterback. Maybe you can get a nice running piece to complement Leonard Fournette in that backfield, and really establish yourself in that sort of way. But I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. But Adam, I know you said you were kind of shell shocked about this. I am too. I'm trying to figure this out. But I guess if this is it for Tom Brady, I kind of want to ask you guys, what are your guys' favorite memories of TB12?
Let me go first. Well, before that, to comment on what CJ said, right? Bruce Arians, I'm making a hot prediction right now. Bruce Arians is going to prove it, all right? And everyone's going to be comparing Kyle Trask to Matt Castle.
He's not. Right. He's Bruce Arians
11-6 season for the Bucs next year.
Bruce Arians isn't proving shit. I'm sorry. Bruce Arians is an ass clown. Brady's the only reason that he has the success that he does. I'm sorry.
That's why he said he wants to reload, because he knows that he can't do it without a bunch of weapons and bringing in a star quarterback.
Yeah, it's great that he wants to reload. He can't. They don't have money. It's like they could bring in Derek Carr. Yeah, I don't care if it's Cam Newton. They can't afford Derek Carr. They can't afford a quarterback that's probably going to need at minimum $15 million a season. They cannot afford it.
You can reload in a couple of seasons. He's probably looking at next season as more of a bridge year, and then they do something the year after that.
Yeah, pull in New England.
Yeah,
good. Just roll with Cam Newton, just trying to run around and pray and throw 29 picks next year, and then we'll see what happens.
I think I'd rather go with Kyle Trask, if I'm being honest with you.
At least he's young. got
Kyle
potential.
At least he's young, and you could say you're developing something with Cam Newton. There's nothing left to develop.
No.
And they
I'd say there's
drafted him in the second round. They better give him a chance. I mean, that's a high pick.
Look,
Yeah.
I will maintain
Well, they didn't need
that was a
anything else.
waste of a second round pick. Kyle Trask. In fact, I have a friend who's like very into the draft, and he remains adamant Kyle Trask probably shouldn't have been drafted. There were so many other quarterbacks that were better than him last year, in my opinion.
So you
wasn't
think
Kellen Mond in that draft?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kellen
Kellen
Mond,
Mond, Davis
Ugh.
Mills, I would all put over Kyle Trask.
Tyler knows a lot about Kellen Mond.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Too
I would
much.
put
Oh, yeah.
Kellen Mond and Davis Mills over Kyle Trask. I really would.
so?
Yeah.
You rather he not have even been drafted? Not only not be in the second round, but just go undrafted.
I saw his skill set, and it's amazing how you look playing with how you make playing with Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney in college look difficult, because he sure did. Florida fans, you know I'm right.
Yep. No, but going back to what Kostiw said, favorite memory of Tom Brady. This is gonna be a little bit cliche, but probably the 28-3. Right, because I've always been a football fan. Don't get me wrong, my whole life. Right, Tom Brady got into the league when I was like 2 years old, and my family's just all from New England, so I've been a diehard ride or die New England fan. Right, I truly started to like grasp the sense of football around the age 13, 14. So around 2012, 2013, was able to see them beat the Seahawks in 2014. It's still a crazy game, but then the real Super Bowl that I got behind was the Falcons one, and I think that game took 3 years off my life, just stress-wise. All right, but that still remains my favorite memory, and just a symbol of, no matter how hard it gets or how impossible it looks, right? Kevin Garnett said anything's possible. Right, Adam?
Yes, which is why there's a possibility Tom Brady comes out of retirement.
Hell no. My dude's 45,
His
right?
wife
His kids
won't
are almost
let
in
him.
college. He wants some time with his kids. His wife will beat his ass if he comes back to the NFL.
Ain't that the
Take
truth?
2
Okay.
years with his family, then come back. We ride at dawn.
We'll be right at time. All right, Adam, what's your favorite memory?
All right. So I'm gonna go with 2 years prior to Robert's favorite memory, which was Super Bowl 49. Now, the year before that, I was watching that historic Broncos offense get dismantled from the Seahawks. And then that summer, the Patriots go and they sign Darrelle Revis and Brandon Browner. And we're saying, okay, we have ourselves a team. Rob Gronkowski's getting healthy. Julian Edelman's showing flashes. Then Brandon LaFell comes out. I'm saying, I want that Seahawks defense in the Super Bowl. I want them. And I made my preseason prediction. I just got into football. I made my preseason prediction, Patriots Seahawks. And I was rooting for it to happen in the conference championships too, which some of my family members weren't happy about because they're like, the Seahawks might beat us. And I said, no, we're beating them. We're beating them. And the Patriots, they dismantle the Colts. The Seahawks pulled off that miraculous comeback against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, the bad man, who is actually bad in the playoffs. And then that game was just one of the most physical, amazing games I've ever seen. The comeback, the Malcolm Butler play at the end, and just watching Tom Brady pull off that 10-point fourth quarter comeback was just pure gold. And then overcoming the Jermaine Kearse circus catch, which happened in the same spot as the David Tyree catch a few years prior. And all of it was just amazing. And then I'm sure some of you who live in New England remember there was a snow day. There was a lot of snow the day after, and we got a snow day. I got to just sit there and just enjoy that time. That's what really got me thinking, this man is special. Tom Brady. This guy is the greatest of all time, and we will never see anything like this guy ever again. That's my favorite memory, and it'll forever. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Who wants it now?
I will before they take mine.
All right.
For me, I would say the entire 2018-2019 season. Think about it. The Patriots were finished. Brady's rickety and old. Gronk's injured. The Miami Miracle. Their defense is slow. The O-line's undisciplined. Josh Gordon had a relapse. Everything was going against them. They skidded into the playoffs. They're basically on fire. I mean, like literally like exploding on fire, not good on fire. And the Chargers we had to go up against, and they were hailed as like one of the most complete teams, a dark horse Super Bowl contender. Maybe it's Phillip Rivers' last ride. And they went out. Brady wasn't great, but he did his thing. He was what we needed him to be, a leader. He went out and smacked around the Chargers. Then they proceed to walk into Arrowhead, take the Chiefs to overtime, and then beat them. And then, of course, there was a historic Travis Kelce crying about overtime. Notice how he's not doing it now, but that's neither here nor there. And then the Super Bowl, the Rams. I remember watching all the media hype before the Super Bowl. Famous jackass Kurt Warner said, "Oh, I'm a big believer in the circle of life. This dynasty is going to die at the hands of the Rams, just like how it was born, against the Rams." And what happened? In a low-scoring Super Bowl, Brady, rallied his men on that final drive with a beautiful lob to Gronk, Sony Michel touchdown. Oh, that was just great because he wasn't the flashiest, but it just his leadership shined through, and he gave us number 6, to which I could say, suck it, Kurt Warner. You were wrong.
Tyler.
Yeah, I could take this one. I got to throw an honorable mention to one real quick. It's got to be Max Kellerman saying he's going to fall off a cliff and then just coming out and absolutely dogging the NFL. But I think my honest favorite Tom Brady moment was actually off the field. It was really when he rug pulled the entire region of New England, when he told everyone he was going to stay and then kind of just took off and went down there. And what I was just like my absolute favorite part of it, him getting off the plane with Gronk in the background. We ain't going nowhere. That just has to be my favorite Tom Brady moment for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cool.
I might have to try to get someone else in here to give their favorite Tom Brady moment, but probably my favorite for sure. I mean, one of the underrated ones I think of is the we're on to Cincinnati game. That's definitely one that I kind of think of because everyone was just saying, I remember after our loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in 2014, that season, people were basically saying, like there were rumors going around saying, hey, do we trade Tom Brady to the Houston Texans? I think it was for Andre Johnson and a first round pick. And I was like, I remember just being like, what? Like, and like there were people just saying like, what is happening? I have no idea what's going down. And there was a lot of things just kind of going around in the air. And I remember just going out and beating Cincinnati like that, just beating their ass. And it was just an absolute, just amazing game to kind of go back and look at. It was obviously a great thing to see there. Another game, obviously, CJ kind of mentioned it. I'd say the Kansas City game back in 2018. For me, that was the last game. I know Brady played an entire other season here in New England, but that was pretty much the last season where he looks like Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. That's the last time where he truly looked like himself. In my opinion, in New England. Obviously, he went on to Tampa, did things there, but as a Patriot, that's where the last time where I watched Tom Brady, and I was like, oh, he's playing Tom Brady level football. That season after in 2019, 2020, it really just didn't feel like him. It just felt, I honestly felt like, all right, he's going to go on to another team. He'll probably be able to do better with a little more talent, but I thought maybe the closest he would get would be a championship game and then really nothing else. But obviously, he proved my expectations wrong. And that KC game, man, was just a hell of a time for myself.
All right, we got anything else to talk about?
Yeah,
I got something.
What else?
And I've been talking about it a little bit. And I'm gonna be honest. Before I looked at what Tony Romo said about this, and I know I've been crazy about it all episode. I've been teasing it. But the chances of Tom Brady coming back out of retirement and pulling a Jordan-esque type thing, think about it. Everything else Tom Brady has already proven. He's already won countless numbers of Super Bowls. He's won He's won stat records. He's won Super Bowl MVPs. You name it, he has it. Except one thing that Jordan was able to accomplish was that
Hollywood career.
Which was that there's that too, which I think he wants to do, by the way. But Jordan comes back at a late age, and he plays at a similarly high level, and that was kind of what cemented his status amongst many as one of the great players of all time in any sport. And
I don't know about that. I think Jordan's legacy was set in stone as the greatest before he became a Wizard. The Wizard.
No,
He's talking the first retirement.
I'm talking about first retirement.
Okay,
I'm talking about first retirement.
I think you were talking about the Wizards years.
No one cares about his Wizards career.
All right.
No one cares.
Adam, before we even go on, right? He was basically forced out of the game the first time he retired. Then he came back.
How do you know he was forced out?
There's so many conspiracy theories.
Adam, but yeah, there's gambling, stuff like that. Adam, Rob, I know you guys wanted to get something on, but I just want to make a quick phone call real quick. You guys obviously know John Warren, correct?
Yep.
So we're thinking of favorite Tom Brady stories. I want to get him on because I think he has a really good one. Hey, John.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so you're actually on the podcast right now. Boys, can you hear him?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, John, they can't hear you right now, but we're doing a thing right now. And we were talking about our favorite Tom Brady stories. I know I'd have to think for one of yours, you kind of have a very emotional one with one of your coaches. I figured in this situation, I wanted you to possibly talk on that. Would you be willing to give your story on that?
Yeah, of course. So what's up, boys? And I guess my Tom Brady story is that I had a late coach of my high school football team, Coach Yancic, and he unfortunately was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And during this time when he was going through it all, he loved Tom Brady, always talked about him like everyone else does, around any, honestly, New England school. And came on, and a couple of us friends decided we should reach out and put it on Twitter. And I guess we reached out to the Patriots organization, we reached out to Robert Kraft, and we reached out to other people just talking about how we love Tom Brady, and it would be great if he could send him a message or get him on a phone call so we could talk to him for a little bit as he was battling with this. And actually we ended up getting him on our phone call, and he sent us a video, which I might be able to send Brian later. If I can pull it up on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he reached out to Coach Yancic. We were all there with Coach, and we surprised him with the video of Tom Brady pretty much reaching out to him and just wanted to pretty much say thanks, good luck in Gillette when we were playing. And it was really touching and really just showed that what a great guy he was.
Yeah.
It was really personal too.
Yeah, because that was the year you guys ended up making Gillette. That was your junior season. You guys ended up losing that year.
Right. So we ended up losing that season, and then my coach, he looked at me and he's like, all right. He's like, it's all right. We'll be there next year. No worries. Because I was injured. So me and Coach were on the sideline together, just hanging out, talking throughout the game. And then later after he passed, and then the next season we kind of dedicated to him, and we ended up being lucky and fortunate enough to make it back and win it this time for him.
Yeah. I'm really glad I was able to get you on for that, John. We were doing it right now. I'm on with Adam, Robert, Tyler, and then Adam's co-host CJ. So I'm glad I was able to get you on for that. Thank you, man. I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right.
All right. Sounds good, boys.
All righty. Take care, John. Peace.
All right. Bye.
So I did want to get him on for that because I was thinking of Tom Brady stories, and I know that was a good one for John. So I'm glad I was able to get him on for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Going back to what Adam was saying, right? We're coming back at an old age. He was 33 when he came back. That was not even yet prime. That was Hall of Fame career number 2 out of 3 for Tom Brady. All right, he's proven it all.
Right, but
all Tom Brady has to do now is twice a year do some sponsorships, do another Ted movie where they glorify how good his junk is, and he calls it a life, okay?
All right. When you comparing sports, it's very often in the NFL where quarterbacks are able to last into their late 30s, and sometimes into their 40s, where you have Brett Favre and Drew Brees. But when it comes to the NBA, yeah, we're seeing Michael Jordan right now, but you don't see it very often. It's very hard to be great, even in your mid 30s as an NBA player. And he came back and he brought him to 3 championships, a three-peat at age 33. So 33 through 37.
Yeah,
he was able to do that.
Yeah.
So that's like, if you're an NFL quarterback, that's like playing in your 40s.
Yeah, pretty much.
And for him to come back, how impossible would that be if he comes back like in his late 40s? Let's say like 46, 47.
Yeah,
and then
somebody
gives him a chance. He goes to another loaded roster like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he goes and he plays just like he has been. Maybe wins an MVP.
No, that's not happening.
I don't see it happening. Giselle won't let it happen.
I don't think there's enough avocado toast for that, my man.
No, there's really not. I mean, listen, I think with Brady, I don't, from what I can tell, obviously when he got down to Tampa, he kind of let his personality go a little bit more. He was able to, show a little bit more of who he was. But I still think that Tom Brady, I don't think he's the type, obviously, I think he's super competitive. I don't think he's going to be the type of guy that's going to try to, come out and try to do a whole retirement tour and do all this stuff. I thought that he might have when he went to Tampa, and that was going to be part of it. But it is crazy to see him go out like this. Obviously, we were watching that game against the Rams, and I was like, and there were the rumors saying that Brady was non-committal going into that game, and it was like, oh shoot, like this might be for real, because it was like Brady has never really given inklings of saying, oh, I'm done, like I'm this, I'm that. So for him to come out and basically say that, it was obviously shocking. And I was like, all right, if Brady's going out, he's going out basically, reliving some of his greats. He's basically turning back the clock, trying to do another 28-3 comeback. And it's like, oh my God, it's crazy. So obviously I don't see him coming back. I think that this is probably going to be it. I like the idea of him signing a one-day contract with the Patriots. That usually is kind of the finishing touch on it, when obviously Brett Favre went out as a Packer, then came back and was a Jet, and then was a Viking. Tyler, I know that you liked those days.
Don't even get me started.
I think we're ruling it out too quickly.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm not saying it's going to happen or it's even likely. I'm just saying, when I heard that quote earlier on in the season, when he said he doesn't want to turn on the TV and see a quarterback and say I can play better than this guy, I think that's going to happen soon, in like a couple of years down the road.
No, even next year, like he's going to turn on the TV and he's going to see whoever the hell is the quarterback for the Colts, and he's going to say,
"Ah, Jesus Christ, I can play better than
this." Or
this.
he's going to see whoever the hell's the quarterback for the Buccaneers. He's going to look at Kyle Trask and be like, "What in the blue hell are they doing?"
Yeah, I think Pat McAfee might be the quarterback of the Colts by then.
Honest to God. But at the same time, though, while there is the case of him saying, like, obviously he was saying he wanted to play till he sucked. He wanted to do all this. He wanted to do all that. There's a part of me, too, where he kind of is just like, he might just be like, all right, we saw what happened to Peyton Manning in Denver in his last couple of years. He got the plantar fasciitis. He couldn't, he basically couldn't walk anymore. And, luckily he was able to go out a Super Bowl champion. He was able to have that glory, but Peyton Manning was basically a non-factor for half of that season, and Brock Osweiler essentially got them in the position to even get close to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think Brady might just say, all right, I have a good shot at winning the MVP this year. Maybe the NFL office even called him and said, hey, Tom, just like in advance, because they'll do this with some guys sometimes when you're in contention for the Super Bowl. Like I think Matt Ryan, when the year he won it, the NFL honors is on the eve of the Super Bowl. And I think he just called them and said, hey, I'm like, this is kind of just stressing me out. Can you tell me whether I won or not? I really don't like, it's not like going to, sway me either way, but just that way I don't have to think about this. And they said, yeah, you won. And he was like, all right, cool. And, that didn't end up well for him, but for Brady, maybe he just called and said, hey, did I win? And it's like, and maybe they said, yeah, you won the MVP. You're the best in the league again this year. And he's like, all right, I'm going to do I'm going to do what a lot of guys do. I'm going to try to pull a Calvin Johnson. I'm going to do whatever these guys do. And, even though I'm 44, I'm going to go out on top. I'm not going to end up like Peyton Manning at the end where I think that might have influence. I was leaning Rodgers, and I still think that he should be within that conversation for it, but maybe Brady called and they ended up saying, yeah, man, you're the MVP. And he was like, all right, you know what? Drop the mic. I'm leaving. I think there's a good chance that he could have done that as well.
There is. I don't misinterpret what I'm saying for just being a conspiracy theorist and saying like, I want Tom Brady to come out. I think he's going to come out of retirement. I'm just using it, saying it's a possibility. Yeah, I'm not trying to bring in like, oh, he's going to play into his 50s and he's like some homer. All I'm saying is I wouldn't quite rule it out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Can I have one last question around the horn before we end the episode?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. In, let's say, 4 to 5 years' time, all right, are we going to see Tom Brady with the dad bod? Tyler, go first.
Oof.
Dad bod Brady. Is it going to happen?
I don't think he'll let it. I think he'll still be an animal about that stuff and just grind every day. I think he's still addicted to the pain.
I think he's terrified of having a dad bod. There's no. I think he remembers what he was like back in his early days, where I think he literally said he would just eat McDonald's, would eat burgers, and do all that stuff. He doesn't want to go back to that. Like there's no way in hell he wants to.
What's your definition of dad bod though?
He's got the beer belly. Like if he looks down, he can like almost see his toes.
Yeah, because he's not exactly a model. Like you look at it, he's not. He already
how much
is kind of a skinny guy.
Yeah.
Are you looking for pictures of his body?
I'm looking at his weight.
I mean, again, he's 6'4", so I think he's like 200 something pounds. Like 220, I think maybe.
People already see him as an unathletic type. He's not exactly an athletic specimen.
Mm-hmm. Mm. But let's be honest. Ben Roethlisberger is only 241, so we're not that far away.
Well, yeah, because he looks like an offensive lineman.
I mean, most of Ben Roethlisberger's weight is in his face, but we'll talk about that.
Exactly.
But I'm thinking we're probably. I don't see him. Yeah. Being like a James Harrison-esque kind of guy where he's gotta live for the workout after he's done. Now I see him as, you know what? It's time to relax. It's time to have fun with the kids. He might keep himself in a little bit of a shit for, like I said, some sponsorships, maybe a movie deal, something like that. But nah, I'm thinking in 4 to 5 years he's weighing 265.
No, honestly,
265.
I really don't see it. Brady does not want to be like that again. Tom Brady just strikes me as a guy that would. Does he stop working out as much? Yeah, I don't know.
Too much of a health nut.
But he's not gonna let himself get like 265, maybe 240, 230. But like, Brady's not gonna let himself get a dab bod. I really don't think that.
Don't forget the avocado ice cream.
Yeah.
Not just the toast, but the ice cream too.
True. He's not gonna be able to fit into the tank tops like your boy is. All right. You know I look good in the tank top. # stronger than Adam. You already know. I know Pesky Pole Podcast fans can't see it because I only do the Spotify now, but I'm rocking the tank top.
They can't see it because it's not there.
I lift more than Adam, okay? You already know. Playing.
If there are any Pesky Pole fans who are really interested, you can also watch us on mine and Adam's YouTube channels. But
no, this is already on. No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
some other episodes, yeah, these guys got great content. This one's all me.
All right, we'll have to see how that goes. But obviously, guys, crazy episode. I know it was on kind of a fly, so I'm glad we were all able to get in on this. Tyler, CJ, Adam, Rob, really glad to get you guys all in. It has been an absolute madhouse, but I don't know. It seems that we are now. Tyler, do you want to say what we're about to do?
Look at the time. It looks like we're officially down to the wire.
Yes, sir. We are now down to the wire with the Fumblerooski Podcast and the Pesky Pole Podcast here. Obviously, the boys, it's been a heck of a time with you guys, all across the board. We were able to break down Tom Brady's retirement, what's going to be next for the Bucs, our favorite memories of the guy, and whether this is the official sign that he's going to stay in retirement. Obviously, a lot of things that went down in this episode today. But I'm definitely gonna have to cover this a little bit more as things start to develop. But obviously, congrats to Tom Brady on an amazing career, unequivocal first ballot Hall of Famer. Congrats, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yeah,
any
before
last
we-
things you guys want to say? All I
Yeah.
know is I gotta say #DadBodTom and #TankTopRobert. That's it.
Yeah, I think before we head off, obviously, to follow Down to the Wire, go follow us on our Instagram at down.to-the-wire again on Instagram, again at down.to-the-wire on Insta. You can follow the link in our bio to Spotify, everywhere, YouTube, anywhere our socials are. You can always listen to us there. Adam, I'll let you shout yourself out now.
Certainly. But first, I would like to point out, Robert, you have some big talk for somebody who's posted how many episodes since like September?
Hi. We've been in a lockout, okay? We've been in a lockout. All right? Don't
All
even
right,
start
use
with
that
me.
as the excuse.
And plus,
All
we
right.
had one episode that you and I recorded that got what do you call it? It got bugged or it got corrupted.
Jesus.
Oh yeah,
wow.
there's that as well. But
so yes.
got
Lockdown?
thanks for listening to us all. This was a great episode, and I hate to see this guy go, but thank you for listening to us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. Also, be sure to follow our Instagram at Fumblerooski_podcast to keep up with our podcast and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, we will see you, well, probably in a few days. Not next
Yeah, probably
week.
in a few days. Rob, I don't know if we'll see you in a few days. I know the lockout is still
God damn
ongoing,
it.
but I'll let you shout yourself out as well.
All right, for the boys that follow Pesky Pole Podcast Nation, you know it's always a pleasure. God bless you guys. You already know. Make sure you follow these two guys and the people who aren't part of Pesky Pole Podcast Nation. Become part of it. We're already like close to 1,500 strong on Instagram at Pesky Pole Podcast. You already know. Adam's just mad because he lifts weights. I lift women. All right, don't even quit playing with me. Yeah,
All right.
you already know, Adam. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Nothing to refute that.
Because you're a
Okay.
ballet dancer.
Yeah, I lift women for a living. Okay, you can't say that. You talking to a microphone for a living.
Yeah. All right. So I think for the closing,
I wouldn't make assumptions, Robert.
Yeah.
Right,
I
bro,
think-
you gonna let me plug myself, man? Tyler
go-
_Tucker
Let's
15
plug himself.
on
we-
Instagram.
Does Tyler
well,
lift women too?
Well, we got.
I try.
Well,
Nah, I'm always
completely-
doing something on Instagram. Check me out, Tyler _Tucker 15. Mad creative into all that stuff. And also, Tom Brady. I can't wait to see you on the PGA Tour in a couple of years.
Yeah. Also, go check out Tyler's second podcast, his golf podcast, the Be Under Par podcast. He's on there, so go check him out there as well. Also has a new media company, Draw Media. So obviously, shout out to that as well. But for the closing, I think we're gonna go DTW, Fumblerooski, and Pesky Pole. So from
Let's
this,
CJ. Let's CJ. Let's
well-
CJ close himself out.
CJ, sorry, my guy. Anything you want to say, Siege?
Down with communism? No.
Whoa.
You asked for anything to say. I mean, Adam, I'm on Adam's podcast. I have nothing to contribute.
What the hell?
Okay,
All right.
You asked for anything to say. That's what I have to say.
I mean,
Also-
sure.
End of
I
this
mean,
episode's
sure.
going to hell. All right, just
All right,
end it. Cut it.
All right. So from Down to the Wire, Fumblerooski, and Pesky Pole, I'm Brian Costa.
I'm
Adam
Tyler
Wright.
Tucker.
DJ
All right. Yeah, I'm CJ Medeiros.
and Roberto Shelley.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Crazy episode. Congrats to Tom Brady on a fantastic career. Take care and peace out.